10 Best Things to Do in Malaga, Spain. Known to many as the capital of the Costa del Sol, Malaga is more than a seaside city. You can learn about Spain's Islamic past at the majestic Alcazaba Fortress Palace, while Pablo Picasso was born here. So there are museums that shed light on his early years, and during the city's famous festivals, you can also get to know Andalusian culture, watching flamenco shows and quaffing sherry, in the part of the country where they originate. And in case you needed reminding, the world-renowned beaches, resorts and golf courses of the Costa del Sol could hardly be closer. La Alcazaba. With powerful walls visible from almost anywhere in the city, Malaga's Alcazaba is a Moorish fortress palace and valuable monument from the Islamic era. It was first erected in the 8th century and was bolstered and expanded over the next 500 years. On this hill are two sets of walls protecting an inner and outer citadel. The outer citadel contains the palace's stunning gardens with fountains and gateways that the Arabs built out of old Roman columns. Within the second set of walls is the palace and stately dwellings that are spread across 3 peaceful courtyard gardens. Roman Theatre. Just down the hill, beyond the outer walls of the Alcazaba, is the best ancient monument in the city. The theater was in use for around 300 years up to the 200s, but then was forgotten about and even used as a quarry during the Moorish period. The structure was only rediscovered in 1951, and considering all it's been through is actually in pretty good shape today. Several tiers of seating of the 16-meter-high cavea, spectators circle, remain undamaged, and there's a recently opened visitor center showing off some of the finds at the site, including amphorae and everyday tools. Malaga Cathedral. The city's cathedral took more than 150 years to build, and so is a kind of melange of Renaissance and Baroque styles. The facade, for example, was one of the last parts to be completed and is suitably grand, with arches, columns, pilasters and stone reliefs depicting saints. The cathedral's north tower is 84 meters tall, second only in Andalusia to La Giralda in Seville. There was supposed to be a south tower, but instead the funds for this were diverted to help America gain independence from the British. Castillo de Cabral. Like the Alcazaba, this hilltop fortress looms above the city. It's a majestic landmark that you might recognize from Malaga and the wider province's emblems. Unlike the Alcazaba, the site has a more warlike purpose, with lookout towers and ramparts that are still standing today, competing with the pines on the hillside. There has been a fortress here since the Phoenicians more than 2,500 years ago, and this castle was the scene of a pivotal siege in 1487. The Muslim Malagueños held out against King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella for 3 months before surrendering when they ran out of food. The Terrazas Market. As with much of Spain, the central market is such a focal point of daily life in Malaga that you have to see it for yourself. Locals favor the stalls at a Terrazas for freshness and because the prices are reasonable. It's also just a lovely building, with an elegant iron and glass canopy, mujar arches and a magnificent stained glass window. Come to buy all the usual market produce, like fruit and veg, meat, both raw and cured, cheese, fresh bread, and some local honey or sherry. There are also bars where you can get a tapa to go with a cold glass of Cruzcampo. Park de Malaga. When the heat is on, this esplanade is like diving into the undergrowth, and you'll be surprised how cool it can be even in the summer. The broad, lush fronds of the towering palm trees provide ample shade over the 3 main walkways. There's also something surreal about seeing ornate pieces of Baroque and Renaissance sculptures and fountains, surrounded by subtropical plants. In front of the City Council building is a beautiful rose garden, ringed by orange trees and cypresses. Automobile and Fashion Museum. Here's an attraction that celebrates the finer things in life. Both guys and girls will find something to admire. For the blokes, there are 100 classic cars, including Maseratis, Cadillacs, Aston Martins and Bugattis. The collection goes back to the earliest years of automotive travel with a Didion Boughton from 1903. As you journey through the decades, from the Roaring Twenties to the 1950s Dolce Vita era, the museum adds historical context to models on show. You can make a similar trip through the years in the 7 fashion galleries, where 200 original pieces of haute couture are on display. Beaches. La Malagueta on the city's waterfront is good enough, but is right up against the busy N340, and can be packed out in summer. Still, The Costa del Sol is Europe's sun and sand paradise, so you won't have trouble finding a better beach close by. Those who know hop in the car and go to Torremolinos, a pleasant 20-minute drive away. The blue flag-winning La Misericordia is a delightful sandy bay, broad and long, and washed by moderate waves. Los Alamos is just as lovely, but a bit more developed with apartment complexes to the rear and beachside concerts in the summer. Malaga Football Club. In the northern suburbs is La Rosaleda, a marvelous stadium with a 30,000 capacity. Its home team, Malaga CF, has been in the Primera Division for almost a decade now. For a period Malaga underwent huge investment from their Qatari owner, which propelled them to the Champions League. But he has stopped pumping money into the club, so they have fallen back a bit. At any rate, every other week from August to May, you can see matches from Europe's best league here. And there's also a stadium tour and museum, documenting Malaga CF's famous players and trophies. Semana Santa. Holy Week is of course a big deal across Spain, but in Andalusia and especially Malaga, it takes on a profound significance. This is partly because the Catholic brotherhoods here, organizing and taking part, are perhaps more prominent than in other places around Spain. They'll hold masses throughout the year and have more manpower to get things organized for the big week. The spectacular floats that they carry on processions taking place from Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday can be several meters tall, and the Virgin statues are often lavishly decorated. There's also a different feeling among Malagueños during Holy Week compared to other Spanish cities. It's much less somber and more exuberant here. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to like.